Welcome. This is our first try at a virtual town hall, and so it's an experiment for us as well as for you. It is great to have you here. The intent of this is just to get to know each other. I'm Phil Duxbury, the Dean of the College of Natural Science, and there's a lot of us here. We have the Associate Dean for Undergraduate Studies, the Director of Undergraduate Studies, and also our Chief Advisor. We have one of our star faculty, Angela Wilson, and we have two of our very strong undergraduates who can answer your questions probably much better than we can. So the intent tonight is just to give you a little bit of information about the College of Natural Science, and we're very proud of the fact that we are the largest and strongest college at Michigan State University. And so there are a lot of opportunities for you. We have 29 undergraduate programs, so there is plenty to choose from. And one of the things that really is an advantage of a big school and a big active research school like ours is that you can get engaged in research from the time you walk in the door. It's just a matter of your motivation and getting out and meeting people. So as the COVID crisis has hit us, we have been inventing things rapidly. It seems like every week there's something new we have to adjust to. The good news is we are adjusting, and we are planning things to make sure that your experience in the fall is rich and that you can do what you want to do. So the newest thing I want to let you know, and you may have seen this online, but I think it's fairly new news, and that is the way in which courses will be delivered in the fall. So there will be the online option for those of you who don't feel comfortable being on campus. And there will be two brands of that. There will be a synchronous brand and an asynchronous brand. And then there will be two on-campus options that you can choose to take. So each course will be labeled with one of four options: the two online options, and an option which is a hybrid course where some of the course will be online and some will be in person. And then there will be a full in-person option. So when you're looking at courses, you will get one of those four options, and you'll know what kind of delivery system there will be for the courses that you are interested in. So I'm not going to say too much more. We're going to have a question and answer, and we'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. So there should be a Q&A in your window that you can take a look at. And now it's a great pleasure to introduce Mark Voigt.
Oh, hi. So I am the Associate Dean for Undergraduate Studies. And so I oversee all of our undergraduate programs with the assistance of Heidi Purdy, who's also on this call. You can wave, Heidi, so people know which one's you. That's Heidi. And what you're seeing also is my screen with the places we are in social media. We're looking forward to getting your questions. We have a suspicion we might not be able to answer all of them because in this era of COVID, we're still trying to figure out all the changes that we're facing in the fall. But as we learn more answers, we will be trying to keep people informed through our social media sites. You're always welcome to ask questions directly too by email. But what this slide you're seeing gives is Instagram address, Twitter address, Facebook address, LinkedIn. So while you're on your computers, we encourage you to get linked in with us right now while the session is going on. And I see there are questions rolling in now. So I will let the other people introduce themselves and then we'll start answering them. So I'll let Phil point out who should be the next person to introduce themselves.
Mark, could you unshare your screen? It looks like they can only see the shared screen.
They can't see us.
Right.
I'm going to stop sharing.
Fantastic. Okay, so that's Mark. And next, Heidi Purdy.
Hi, yes, I'm Heidi Purdy. Welcome. We're thrilled to have you be a part of the Spartan family. We're so excited to have a chance to meet you as you come to orientation in the summer, and then once you are here in the fall on campus. So I am the Director of Undergraduate Studies. I am also our lead advisor for the college. So I will be helping you through orientation, helping you pick out classes, as well as my absolutely awesome team that specialize in all of our different advising for all of our different majors. So we're thrilled to have you here, and hopefully we can hit as many of your questions as we possibly can in the time.
Thank you, Heidi. And next, Angela.
Hi, I'm Angela Wilson. I'm Associate Dean for Strategic Initiatives, and welcome. We're so excited to have you come in here in the fall. And actually, Heidi, we have a lot of questions coming in, Heidi and Mark. So I don't know if you would like to start answering some of those, because they are related to advising, and then we'll introduce our student panel and give them some opportunities to talk.
Okay, great. So why don't you start off with that first question, Heidi?
Sure. Angela, do you want to read them out, or do you want me to?
Sure,
Okay.
I can do that. So the first question is, what are the best summer classes to take?
Okay, so this is the new one. If you have not heard yet, you should have gotten an email today in your MSU account stating that you have a special opportunity to take up to 2 classes in the second summer session at a very reduced rate with a great scholarship, and get a jump start on your time at MSU. So in terms of the best summer courses to take, I think this is a great opportunity to really look into getting some of your general education requirements out of the way. So those might be your writing class, or a social studies class, an arts and humanities class. It's also a great time to explore other things that you're interested in. I would say that if you have an interest in something in social science, I know they're doing sociology and some anthropology, that's a great thing to be looking into across the board. What I will also do is encourage you to go ahead, if you're interested at all in this program, to apply through the form that was linked in the email. And once you do that, I will actually be notified of your interest, and I will start working with you individually on what will be the best classes for you to take. So we will be in communication very soon after you fill out that form.
Okay, thank you so much, Heidi. Another question is, when will we be selecting our classes for the fall and spring?
Absolutely. So fall and spring selection and enrollment happens at orientation. So in leading up to orientation, you will be hearing from your academic advisor about the time that you'll be meeting with them. You'll either be meeting one-on-one, or you may be meeting in groups depending on your major. And so you'll have plenty of opportunity to meet with students who are current on MSU's campus that will help guide you through, but also advisors who are the absolute experts on what classes to be taking. So you're going to be getting lots of information. You also should be, as we're leading up to your orientation session, getting an email that leads you through some D2L modules. So this is an online learning platform that you will use in most every class once you're at MSU. And so it will actually lead you through that. And we have put out sample schedules within that module that will help get you started. And so you'll be ready with all of the questions that you want to ask your advisor.
So thank you, Heidi. We have an incredible number of questions coming in. I will go through some of them. We're not going to be able to go through all of them, but I'm going to go through ones that are, I think, probably relevant to just about everyone. Many of the other questions, what we're going to do is we will have an FAQ page that we will answer all of your questions, and we will refer you to the FAQ page probably next week. So give us a few days to answer that. But I do see some other ones that I think are going to be probably relevant to many students. And one of them is, if I'm enrolled for the fall semester, can I take summer classes?
So if you're enrolled for the fall semester, we do have this unique opportunity to take summer classes. Always before, that was not something that could happen, but we do have the unique opportunity that was emailed out to you today. And so that would be the way that you would be able to take summer classes. Now, our second summer session does start at the beginning of July. So you can get really excited because you're going to start your classes right away. So definitely fill out that form.
Okay. And I'm sure some students have this question. I know I've heard this question from many students, and this is basically, I'm sorry, so many questions are coming in, it's hard to follow. It's a question in terms of orientation, and is the orientation date going to impact what courses they can, how soon they can get a jump on registering for classes?
Absolutely. Good question. So we have an actual program called pre-enrollment, and this is just that, to make sure that every student that's coming to Michigan State as a freshman has equal opportunity to classes. And so that is actually going to be running in the next 2 days. so that each student will get a set of classes that we have set aside in the college that we know you need as a part of your major. And so that gives you equal opportunity. Now, that being said, that doesn't mean that you won't be able to change the classes. You definitely will have some flexibility to rearrange times or locations. We don't want anybody having to do the 100-meter dash between classes, so we will make sure that you can get across our beautiful campus in a timely manner. So you will work with the advisors individually, but we do that really to make sure that whether you come on the first day of orientation or the last, you have the set of courses that you need to be successful and to progress through your degree.
So thank you, Heidi. Another question is, how do I...
Hang on, I think Mark has some further addition.
Well,
okay, all right, sorry, Mark.
I think I'd like to take a moment for our student panelists to introduce themselves. I've seen a couple of questions that they should be answering, and so I want to make sure we don't go too much longer without having them introduce themselves and say a few words. So shall we do that?
Okay, we'll do that, and then I've got a series of questions for them, and so that'll take some time as well, but we'll come back to the advising questions then. So,
right, Elena, why don't you introduce yourself?
For sure. My name is Elena Green, and I'm from Clarkston, Michigan, so that's about an hour away from MSU. I'm a rising senior, and I'm a zoology major. I do research on wildlife crime and how gender plays a role within that industry. But yeah, that's about it about me.
Thanks, Elena. So Cade.
Hey everyone, I'm Cade Dembski. I am actually from East Lansing. So I grew up here and now I go to school here. I'm double major in physics and clarinet performance, and I do research in machine learning applied to nuclear physics at the National Superconducting Cyclotron Laboratory.
Thank you, Cade.
So I will follow up with some questions for them, and then we'll come back to the advising. How about that? Okay.
Sounds great.
So I'm going to start off with Cade. And Cade, this is going to be off the script that I sent you, but you were just talking about research, and we had some questions about research. So some students wanted to know, how do you find out what faculty are doing what kind of research at MSU?
So the way that I found out was through the pa.msu.edu. It's the Physics and Astronomy home webpage for the department. And every professor that's part of PA should have a research interest page on there. So I was lucky enough to have, I was offered a professorial assistantship when I came in, which was kind of a blank check to perform research throughout my first 2 years as an undergraduate. And so I looked through all of the physics and astronomy pages, as well as the National Superconducting Cyclotron Laboratory, and I found a professor whose interests aligned with mine. And I contacted her. She had room in her group at the time, and so everything kind of worked out in my favor for that time, and I still do research with her today.
Great.
So I would recommend looking at the individual research interests of these professors and checking to see if they are available to take on a student.
Great. Elena, I don't know if you want to add anything to that?
Sure. I actually found my mentor through Handshake, and that's a website. I'm not sure if it's available yet for incoming students, but if it is, it helps you find jobs or internships or research positions. And I had found my mentor on there. And I actually didn't meet the qualifications that she was looking for. She wanted someone who was like fluent in French and knew like a computer programming thing. And I didn't know either, but I applied anyway because of what she was doing. I thought it was really cool. And I've been working with her for almost 2 years now. So just kind of apply for things even if you don't think you're qualified, because a lot of times you'll find like some kind of like niche that you can fill with whoever that person is.
Thank you both. And I want to follow up with that too. The research experiences are wonderful. I mean, it's one of the wonderful things that MSU offers. We've got some of the best faculty in the world, and students start research, many of them start research from the time they're a freshman, and it doesn't matter if you're going to professional school, if that's your plans down the line. I have a student, my area is theoretical computational chemistry, and I have a student who's planning to go to dental school in my research group. And so there's a lot of different opportunities. And actually I have one of the incoming Drew scholars working in my lab now. And so there's opportunities doing this virtually, I must say, but there certainly are opportunities. And so, now's a good time time, if you're not working this summer and you want to kind of explore, I encourage you to take a look at the websites and see, look at different fields. You may say, okay, yes, I definitely want to be a chemist or definitely want to be a physicist. But if you don't know, there's a lot of different departments within NatSci and a lot of really exciting opportunities that I can tell you that, I had never imagined. Even when I was a professor somewhere else and I moved to MSU, I was just amazed at all the different types of research that go on. And so definitely take a look. There's some incredible facilities. There's some incredible virtual opportunities as well. And so I definitely encourage you to take a look. So Kate and Elena, I hope you don't mind another question. This next one is, and I'm going to start with you, Elena, if you could answer, what are your favorite aspects about MSU and about being an MSU student?
I think my favorite aspect about MSU is that there's always a community for you. I know it's very intimidating because I was a transfer student when I came to MSU, and it's super big, and you kind of get lost the first week. At least I did. I always went to the wrong building. That just might be me. But you end up finding like your community of people and of colleagues, and I think it makes the campus a lot smaller because you're able to form like these really, really close connections with people while still having like such a big campus to kind of play with.
Thanks, Elena.
There's a note that's saying that the students are cutting out pretty badly. Is there a way to remedy that?
Can you guys get closer to your mics, maybe?
Is that?
I can try. Is that better to whoever asked that?
It's still cutting out a little bit, Elena. Well, while Elena's working on that, Cade, how about what are your favorite aspects about MSU and being a student at MSU?
Well, I very much enjoy the campus itself. I think it's absolutely gorgeous with the river, and then there are also a lot of different sections of campus that have their own feel. North and south are kind of completely unique. But one of the things that I've missed the most is just being on campus and walking around. It was by far my favorite campus out of everywhere that I toured. And also, I have a lot of good friends that go to MSU, some great communities that I'm a part of, both in the music world and here in NatSci. So there are just a lot of things that make it pleasant to be on campus and around everyone who is there.
Okay, great. So Kate, I'm going to turn to you and then I'll turn to Elena. What advice would you give to freshmen about preparing for the fall?
Ask a lot of questions. This is coming particularly from my research experience, because when I came in, I don't want to ask too many questions, because especially if you're jumping into research, there's probably going to be jargon and terms that you don't know, and that's okay because they're not used outside of that field very often. At least that's especially how it is in nuclear physics. So it's okay to ask lots of questions. And I was kind of scared when I came in, but after, this year, because I'm the only person working on machine learning in my group, I have trained some new students and they kind of sit there silently. And I'm thinking, come on, ask me some questions. I know that I want to be able to help because I know that a lot of this can be confusing at first. So really, even if it seems like you're being a burden, or if it seems like, this is a dumb question or something like that, just ask questions because it's helpful for the people mentoring you to know where you're at.
There's 40 questions already, so they're already taking your advice.
Yeah, keep that up once you get to campus.
I'm 43 now, anyways. So Elena, how about for you? What advice would you give freshmen about preparing for the fall and kind of the first year experience?
So I guess broadly, like for being a freshman, is just to kind of try a little bit of everything, but don't overextend yourself. And I think like trying to figure out like where can I push myself like academically and like socially is comfortable for me to do throughout the year, because I know I definitely like signed up for everything right off the bat and just made myself super stressed. But it helped me kind of figure out what I needed to do and what made me happiest, which I think was necessary. And then I saw a couple of questions about being a transfer student, and it's about the same. Just make sure you're going to your advisor and just kind of being adamant about asking like if these classes are going to fulfill in certain ways, because I was able to work with my advisor and get courses like waived or substituted, which was really helpful for me. So it's just important to have like that communication and just kind of know what you're getting into. There's also like, I think it's transfer MSU or MSU transfer, and it shows you like which of your courses will transfer over. And that's really helpful when you're making your schedule and stuff.
Great. So I see a follow-up question, and I'll ask both of you some more questions, but one of the questions somebody asked was, where can you find the research pages that Cade was talking about? If you go to any of the departments and you look up the faculty, each of the faculty members has got their own web page, and then you can look at the faculty web page, and they'll have a description of their research. And so you can learn a lot by just kind of exploring the web, and there's a lot of information about the college on the web. So be very, very helpful. So I have some more questions for students, and then we'll switch over to advising in a minute. Just, I guess, in general, what recommendations do you have? You know, what do you look back at and say, hey, I wish I knew that when I was a freshman? Are there some organizations you would have liked to get involved in? How do you get involved in organizations? What do you like about East Lansing? Anything you want to tell the students? Elena, do you want to start?
Sure. I think one of my things was just realizing that it's okay to say no to things that you don't enjoy. Because I feel like a lot of times as you're going through like college or you're going through even high school, you kind of just keep saying yes to things, even if they don't make you 100% happy. But I think during college, it's really important to find those things that do make you happy, even if they aren't necessarily like going to better your like career or going to better like who you want to be in 4 years. So I think it's important to kind of not make everything about academics or not make everything about the next step, and being sure that you're enjoying like who you are and like what you're doing now. And also just realizing that you're going to change over 4 years. Like my plan coming into college is a lot different than my plan going out of college.
Thank you, Elena. Cade, how about you? General advice?
Yeah, I would definitely concur with everything Elena said, and I would also say don't be afraid to try things out. As she said, you have to find things that make you happy, and there are a lot of really great breadth of opportunities, probably more than you could possibly realize before you get to campus, across so many different disciplines. There's so many student organizations, and you know, I know a lot of people coming into college can be scared of, oh, will I have time to do this? Oh, how is my schedule going to manage? Can I study? And you're going to have more time than you think. Than you think. You don't spend as much time just sitting in class as you do in high school on a day-to-day basis. So you're going to have, especially if you're only coming in with a single major, large stretches of time that you'll have to study and to, you know, eat and nap and whatever it is you need to do. So don't be afraid to add things in here and there, because, you know, if you don't like them, you can always quit. You know, you may have to put up with it for a semester, but I think it's always better to try something and know that you don't want to do it, or to take the hard class and power your way through it, or something, whatever it may be, than to ignore it and kind of just be complacent with your time.
Great, thank you, Cade. We have a huge number of questions, and there's a few things that I'd like to go back and touch on, particularly because I know some people weren't able to start with this right at 7. We had a question again about kind of the fall and what's going to happen about the fall in terms of, are we going to be completely online in the fall? What's going to happen with labs? So I don't know, Phil, if you would like to take that, or Mark.
Yeah, sure. So there's a lot of things still in the works, but as I mentioned at the beginning, there are 4 types of courses. They will be coded in 4 different ways. 2 will be online options. 1 will be synchronous online, and then there'll be an asynchronous online. And I saw there was a question about someone in Taiwan. An asynchronous online course would be a good option if you're in a very different time zone. So those 2 online options give some options. Then there is a hybrid option, which is probably going to be true for most of the large lecture classes, which can't be safely delivered with social distancing. So in that case, the lectures will be either synchronous or asynchronous online, but then there'll be in-person recitations or office hours or some kind of interaction to enable students to get to know their advisors, their TAs, their ULAs, that kind of thing. And then there'll be the in-person classes, and most of those, if they're fully in-person, will be either laboratories, where it's very hard, or the types of laboratories where it's very hard to do anything that's realistic or authentic online. Having said that, there will be some laboratories that will be online, and those kind of laboratories are ones where they're data-based, and they'll take videos of a TA or some senior person doing the experiment, and then you get the data, and you have to figure out what's going on with the data and write the report. So most of it is authentic, and the part that's not is a part where the data is collected. So there's going to be a lot of variety in the way things are delivered in the fall, and you'll probably have to talk to your advisor to get details about the set of courses you're doing and which ones are best taken online and in person.
Thank you, Phil. Mark, go ahead.
I guess I also want to emphasize, in the big picture, there are two principles that are guiding our thinking. The first is we want to make things as safe as possible, given that we're going to be having more people around. That means safe for you and also safe for the instructors. And so that's principle number one. Principle number two, given that things are going to be somewhat different and a significant amount of classwork is going to be online, we want to make sure that it's worthwhile to be on campus for the students. So we're asking students to come. And so we're trying to figure out, how do we deliver the same kinds of things that make it worth being on campus? I think what we found, those of us who were teaching, and my students, right? I was teaching last semester. And one of the things I kept hearing from the students as we continued having classes like we're doing now with Zoom is that they miss the in-person interaction just to find out what's on other people's minds. And so we're kind of brainstorming how to make it worthwhile to be on campus and be safe at the same time. And so this is a new world for all of us. But I want you to know, those are the two things that are kind of guiding us in trying to make all these decisions.
Thank you, Mark. So there's so many questions, and if you weren't online earlier, we will be answering all of them, but we're not going to be able to get to all of them today. So we will have an FAQ page that we're going to post next week answering all of the questions. But I'm trying to pick out some questions that are a little bit more general. And another question is, one of the students, and this is probably a question that many of you have, is what exactly is this D2L that we keep hearing about in all of these email messages that we're getting? And so maybe someone, Mark or Heidi, maybe you could address that.
Well, maybe I can tell you what it's like from an instructor's perspective, and the student can tell us what it's like from their perspective. Many of our courses, it's a course management system. When I was teaching all of a sudden online in the spring, I was posting all of my lectures there. I was posting little bits of video there. A lot of the homework was there, the syllabus is there. So it's a website where you can get a lot of the course logistics from it. And sometimes it's used for homework, but you will certainly get used to it. Student comments?
Kate.
Yeah, so as Mark said, it's pretty much a central repository for your class where professors can put material that they think is relevant. And one thing that I think is funny to note is how differently it can be used, because there are some professors that put literally everything from the first day syllabus to every final exam study guide on there. And there are some professors that say, oh, there are 3 assignments this quarter that need this extra visual stimulus, so I'll upload those and you can look at them when you need them, or something like that. So you will use it in different degrees. for different classes, but you will be using it a lot because some of your class, at least one of your classes every semester will have a significant detail component.
And very commonly, the course grade book is stored there. So if you want to see how you're doing, it's that's where it all is.
So Elena, I don't know if you want to make any comments as well on that.
Sorry, I was trying to answer a question.
Oh, sorry, Phil.
Real time. That works. So yeah, I can tune back in now.
Oh, terrific. Now, I was asking Elena if she wanted to make any comments about D2L.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
No, I don't have any additional comments. DTL is just you like it or you don't.
I would just
using it.
I just want to add, especially right now, what you're hearing about the D2L is all of your orientation materials. So a huge part of orientation this summer is through the D2L, and the materials that you're getting sent to you through the orientation office are really essential for preparing you for orientation and preparing you for coming this fall. It is actually staged so that you're actually doing some of these materials throughout the summer at the right time so that you don't miss any key things. So we're going to make sure that you get information prior to your advising and enrollment so that you're ready for that. There'll be preparation materials prior to when the bill comes due. There'll be preparation materials before you move in the fall. So as you get them, please start to go through them. They will take several hours to go through, but they're absolutely full of good information, and you will have access to them throughout the first year. So you'll be able to reference back to them.
So thank you, Heidi. So there's also a question about how do students get in touch with their advisor?
Absolutely. So your advisor leading up to orientation will reach out to you. So that will be, don't worry, we will not forget anybody, will not miss anybody. You'll get connected there. And then at orientation, you will actually be talking with them individually. And so you'll have the opportunity to link up with them there. I also do see this question in the Q&A, and I was just about also to link the advising page. So I'm going to actually hit send on that. So you can actually see the listing of all of the advisors. It has their phone numbers, it has their emails. You certainly can contact them. Please know that as we go into orientation, they're going to be working constantly with all of the students coming through. So a little bit of grace if they don't get back to you right away on an email. If you send them a quick question, we appreciate that, but they will get back with you and you will get all your questions answered.
So, thank you, Heidi. So a question, one student had asked the question in terms of, they were expressing concern that the student says, I'm worried that it might be hard to receive help from teachers since classes will be somewhat online. What are ways teachers would be available if I have questions on the subject? So there's going to be many different ways in the fall. And actually one of the things, most of the faculty are not traveling now. And so you have greater access to faculty than you probably normally would. The faculty have been widely available all kinds of hours online. There's teaching assistants available online, but they'll also be available in person as well. And so you'll have different ways to connect, many different ways to connect. And so there are plenty of opportunities for you to receive help, and probably even more so than in the past, because now a lot of faculty have never been online or online now. And so there's lots of great opportunities for connectivity. So a question was asked, and I know we have a number of international participants, and some of our international participants asked if there was a way they could start online early in the semester, and then as soon as they're able to come on site for classes. And so I don't know if Mark or Heidi or Phil would like to touch that one.
I guess what I'll imagine is we expect to have some students who may be doing the whole semester online. If you are in class, if you enroll in classes that are going to be online, you can certainly be on campus and participating in those courses. I think if you are going to be away for a lot of the first semester, a lot of the fall semester, it probably isn't wise to enroll in courses that require you to be in person. Okay. But I think there are going to be a lot of options, hybrid and online options for you to put together a schedule where you can start from wherever you are. And when you come on campus, at least for the fall, you'll continue doing the course of that mode, but you will be able to take advantage of whatever in-person help services there are here. Earlier today, we were just talking about the math help room, which has previously been one giant room with lots of people close together talking. We still intend to provide in-person math help, but it's probably going to be in a large number of small rooms. So once you're on campus, that's a service you can in principle take advantage of. But that's what I would advise.
If I can add to that, for our international students, unfortunately, we won't be able to extend the possibility of starting early this summer to you due to visa issues. So that is only for domestic students, so I apologize for that. The other thing is I would recommend that you work very closely with the Office of International Students and Scholars to make sure exactly what are the requirements, because there are some limitations on online work, but there are some rules that have been relaxed with that. And the OISS office, they are the ones who are the most up to date on all of those rules. And so we don't want to make any problems with your visa or anything. So make sure that you are working with them very closely. They will guide you through orientation. They are in contact with you during the summer and available to you. So make sure that you're working with them closely.
So I'm going to turn back to Kate and Elena. And there was a question in terms of how do you balance extracurricular activities and academics? Kate, would you like to start?
Sure. I don't know if I'm the best person to answer this exactly because as I said, I have a music major, which is one of the, well, maybe I am a good person to answer because music is probably the most time-intensive major there is in terms of the out of class expectations. And I won't lie, it has been a challenge, especially when I have lots of lab classes. So I had three of my weekdays this spring semester were 13 hours long. So that was a challenge for me, but you have to find I don't know, solace or enjoyment in what you're doing. Because if you can maximize the amount of time that work doesn't feel like work, you can spend more time working. And of course, there are ways that you can sort of maximize the efficiency of your time. You know, if you're eating between classes and getting work done, say you have 20 minutes before your next class, you're just sitting around, instead of sitting on your phone and checking Twitter or whatever, you can knock out the first half of a homework assignment or something like that. And that works with your extracurriculars, which are mostly, that'll free up time at night if you want to do student organizations or just meet with your friends. You can meet with your friends between classes. Your days will be a lot less rigid in college than they are in the past because you don't have this 7-hour block of time that you have to be in the same building. So you'll find ways to be flexible, ways to work things in either before class, in between class, after class. So yeah, I think that'll be one of the biggest benefits, one of the best ways to do that.
So thank you, Kate. And actually in answering this, you also answered some of the other questions that came up. There was someone who had asked if they could take business classes while being a physics major. And certainly, I mean, Kate has done, majoring in clarinet as well as physics. And there's been a lot of questions also about double majors. And certainly that is, many of our students do, certainly explore other areas. They double major. And a question just came in, and yes, Elena, I'm going to get to you in a minute. Another question came in terms of how difficult is it to balance a job while working on campus. In many ways, having a second job, and Kate has also, been doing research in physics over at the cyclotron facility, so that is work. It's research, it's work, but it really depends upon how your classes are going. I mean, I would say classes are first and foremost, and then you can kind of see what else you can fit in. And it may depend upon, from semester to semester as well, because some semesters you may have a much tougher load. So it's often best to kind of start, see how it goes, see how the balance goes, and get an idea of how well you're able to balance things. And so, Elena, if you'd like to answer kind of the question about the balance of extracurricular and academics or work in academics.
Yeah, for sure. I've always had to work throughout my undergrad. So I had 2 jobs for most of the school year. And I think one of the best things about MSU being so big is that there's a lot of like course offerings at different times. So you can kind of maximize like your schedule for the week. So for this past year, I had no classes on Monday or Friday for the whole semester. And then I had a bunch of gaps in between classes just because I took physics online, and I was able to take, and then this last semester is all online for the most part. So that helped a lot. But just being adamant and kind of careful with your time and what you're allowing to take up your time, and making sure that you're not overstressing yourself. So I was able to make my schedule work for me and how it could work around my work schedule, but also leave me time to do my research and do my extracurriculars that I wanted to do. So I think there is a way to balance it, but it's just trying to figure out, like, prioritize and then kind of make things so that you're able to like not overstress yourself with your schedule.
In fact, I want to paraphrase something that Elena said earlier, right? And this is definitely a paraphrase, but everybody's unique. You got to find the balance that's right for you. So, trying to do just what someone else is doing might not be the right balance for you. You got to try things and find out what works.
Great, thank you. Yes, Kate.
Yeah, if I can add one more thing also, if you do things early, you can go to office hours and ask questions about, because a lot of times in an assignment, it'll be one question or one problem that is taking up the vast majority of your time. And so if you do it late, you might sit and stare at it for 6 hours and read the textbook 100 times and Google the question. But if you do everything that you can and you know how to do it early, and then you can go to office hours and get more personalized help on it, it'll save you a lot of time.
Time management, you say?
Mm-hmm.
So thank you. So I'm going to turn back to Heidi and Mark, because I think these are some questions that a lot of students have been posing. I'm going to put them all together and let you both, address them. The first one is about class options. Can students look up somewhere some possible class options before they show up for orientation, get some ideas of what they might want to take? And then also there's a lot of questions about where do students find out about student loans, about scholarships, work opportunities on campus?
I think those are Heidi questions.
Oh, okay.
I think so too. I'm trying to get to my mute button. Okay, so lots of questions. Let me see if I unpack it. If I miss anything, Angela, please keep me on track.
Sure.
So choosing classes, absolutely. So I know we've said it many times, I'll say it again, in the D2L that you have or will be soon receiving for orientation, there is one specific to natural science, and we have put in there sample schedules for each of our majors. So that is a great place to start, is you're gonna have those sample schedules. The next thing I would point you to is actually on the NatSci website. So our website is natsci.msu.edu. If you then say /orientation, we have a huge amount of resources that our advisors have put together, including some great resources to some of the classes you might be likely to take in your first year at MSU. So the university requirements or general education requirements, some electives. It also has some of the basic science classes that are first foundational courses. And so they actually have those in there. Now, we do have a schedule of courses website, and you will become very familiar with that. And it has all of that information. But sometimes we find that that's a little bit overwhelming because it's got everything on it. And it's so exciting to read through some of these things. The classes sound amazing, but some of them are graduate level courses. And so while they're really amazing, we would not want to put you into them in your freshman year because we want you to be ready for them. So we got to build those foundations first. And that's why we've selected out some key classes that you can investigate on that natsci.msu.edu/orientation website. So that's a great way to get started. And actually, as a part of your orientation, you have homework that you have to go through those things and help get some of those classes picked out so that when you get to your advising and enrollment section with your advisor, you will be ready and you will be prepared with all of those things. Okay, so that was the question about classes. There was also a question around jobs on campus. So as Elena mentioned earlier, there is a thing called Handshake. So Handshake is actually on the Career Services Network. And so if you go to careernetwork.msu.edu, or if you go to the main page and just search for career services or even Handshake, it will take you right there. This is actually where we have opportunities that are posted for jobs, whether there be research jobs, jobs in the cafeteria, they could be jobs doing a lot of different things. You would be able to do that. So any job that is available to students on campus is going to be posted through Handshake. That is actually a standard for us on campus. So it's nice because it really does make a one-stop shopping. Now, as Kate mentioned, sometimes you can look at those faculty members and kind of ask to be working in a lab. Sometimes that doesn't always work, and sometimes we're just not brave enough. I know I wouldn't have been brave enough to reach out like that. And so finding a posting, knowing there was already an interest out there, can be very helpful. This is also a great site to know early on, because as you progress through, this is also where there'll be internships posted. So as you get more real life experiences later on in your career, and it is also where actual career positions will be posted later. So the more you can get used to Handshake early, the better off it'll be. And it'll be a great way for you to connect with employers and alumni and all kinds of different opportunities that you have through that. Angela, I think there was a third part, and I'm sorry, but I think I've forgotten.
Oh, scholarships and student loans.
Scholarships, yes, absolutely. So there's a couple of different things with scholarships and student loans. So student loans are going to go all through the Office of Financial Aid. And so financial aid will actually be putting out bills at the end of July. So after enrollment has happened at orientation, they do go through and they assess the bill. And so you will get that through a STU info portal. So if you haven't checked that out yet, you'll be getting more information on that, but it's STUINFO, stuinfo.msu.edu. And all billing goes through there. So you'll have the opportunity to say, yes, I want these loans. No, I don't want those loans, that type of thing. Scholarships work a little bit differently. Scholarships actually can be administered through the Office of Financial Aid. They can also be administered through the college. We have actually quite a few scholarships in the College of Natural Science. And then we also have them through departments, special programs, a lot of different ways to get scholarship money. Now, the beautiful thing for our incoming students is we don't generally have too many that you have to apply for. If you qualify for a scholarship, it will be automatically applied. There are a few scholarships that we do reach out to certain populations of students that meet the qualifications and ask them to apply. And so you can be on the lookout for those as we go into summer. But for the most part, we try and make it very easy as you're coming on campus, because we know this is all new experience. Now, that being said, once you are a current student on campus, a huge amount of scholarships open up to you that were not available as incoming students. So in the College of Natural Science specifically, we have our scholarship window open every January. So January 1 through January 31st. You'll get emailed about that and you can apply. And it's a great system. You log in, you will actually fill it out once, and it applies all of the scholarships that you would actually qualify for in one application. So there's a lot of different things that you can go through with that. Individual department scholarships do sometimes come individually, but in all cases with the college and the department, you'll get specific emails sent to you in your MSU account, and they will give you all the things that you need to do to apply for those. So I can't emphasize enough how important it is to be checking your MSU email every day, multiple times a day, because that's where you're going to get information about all kinds of things. You're also going to get research information in emails and important updates about classes and enrollment, and right now about orientation. So definitely make sure that that is loaded into all of your devices so that you can be checking that easily and often.
Great. Thank you so much, Heidi. Really appreciate that. A lot of very, very useful information. You know, we've had a couple of students ask questions about, hey, if I decide to take all online classes, can I do something like Spartan Marching Band? You are, as an MSU student, you can do things online, you can do things hybrid, you can do things completely on site. So you've got multiple options. And so I know another student was like, oh, if I have to take online courses, there's going to be many options available on site. And so, again, we have more options than we normally have. And so, take advantage of it. I think it's going to be a great fall. And, it's going to be a great time, and we really look forward to getting to know you this fall. we have so many questions that have come in. And as I mentioned, we really don't have time to answer all of them. They're all important questions. We are going to, we'll post them next week because we've got about 100 questions that we need, 100 some questions that we need to answer and post, but we will post them on the NatSci website next week. So do look for them. Some of your questions are ones that are pretty pressing. And so, look for them early next week. I will ask, I'm going to ask now if Heidi, if you have any parting words, and then Mark, and then I'll ask the students, and then let Phil wrap it up. So Heidi.
Absolutely. My parting words is come and enjoy it. It is a wonderful ride. I am a Spartan alum and I loved it so much I had to come back. So just enjoy your time. And as Kate said, don't be afraid to ask questions. I think because MSU seems so big that sometimes it's intimidating, but the reality is that if you start asking questions, you build your network, and pretty soon your network is big and it feels small. It is a small community that cares about each other. And so don't be afraid to reach out. We are here for you. Your faculty are here for you, your advisors, fellow students, all of us. So we're all a part of the Spartan family, and we're just thrilled to have you with us.
Mark.
Yeah, I guess so. So I think all of us, even us older professors, are looking at the fall with excitement, maybe a little anxiety, because we don't know exactly what to expect. But one of the things we learned in the spring was how much of the value of being a Michigan State student comes from being part of the community. We heard that again and again from the students who had to then go home. And so I think we're entering the fall with renewed appreciation that, the experience here isn't just going to class and listening to somebody. It's being a part of the community, learning from your professors, but also learning from your peers and learning from your near peers, your undergraduate learning assistants and graduate TAs. And so I'm hoping that this reflection on how much of the experience, how much the value comes from the community is going to be healthy for what we're doing here. I'm sure, I'll say in advance, I'm sure there are things that happen imperfectly because we're trying to do them for the first time. But our intentions are, again, to make sure it's worth coming to campus and getting those, becoming part of the community that is the reason for being a Michigan State student.
Thank you, Mark. Elena?
Yeah, this fall is going to be really interesting, but I don't think with the circumstances it makes us any less a Spartan. I think it kind of reinstates how much a community and how much there is to offer at MSU. So I'm really excited about the fall, and I'm really glad about all the precautions and all the work that's going into making sure this semester is as safe as possible, but also as kind of fulfilling that Go Green type atmosphere, even if it is mostly online.
Great, thanks, Elena. Cade?
Yeah, I just want to say welcome again to everyone. Even if you can't come to campus for the fall, we're happy that you're here. You'll be taking classes and go green.
Go white.
Thank you, Cade. And yes, Mark?
No.
I'm sorry. So, there's also going to be, right now, actually, if you're looking for something to do this summer, NatSci has had a lot of really great programming online. In fact, Mark actually recently had a presentation on black holes, right? Tomorrow, I'm sorry, it's tomorrow. Okay, but it will be available on the web. I've done one on quantum computing. If you want to learn a little bit about quantum computing, there's been one on biodiversity. So there's a lot of different opportunities available. A student had asked about different clubs and social interactions available online. There are some available. There'll be some more available in the fall, but there'll also be in-person meetings as well. So a lot of variety and a lot of options. And so now I'm going to want to thank you so much again for being a part of this. And I'm so excited to see you in the fall. And I'm going to let Phil close it up, our dean.
Thank you very much, Angela. And thank you, everybody, for participating. The panelists did a wonderful job. And I'm just amazed that we have 190 students show up to this tonight. And I think that's an indicator that maybe we should do this as a regular thing, and your feedback on that would be great to hear. I want to add to one thing that Kate mentioned about community and online courses, and the students that can't make it to campus. We want to find ways to build community with you and engage you with people that are on campus, so that, you know, when finally it's safe or reasonable for you to be on campus to engage with our community, you're ready for it. So I think we want to build a community of all of the students that are entering in the fall, and we'll find ways to do that. And if you don't feel it's happening, please let us know what's going wrong. So with that, I'd like to say thank you very much. We're very excited about you coming to Michigan State in the fall, and wonderful that you were here tonight. We look forward to engaging you again in the near future. We will answer all your questions, and we'll try to engage again through a Zoom session like this. Thank you. Good night.
Good night. Bye, everybody.